Thank you so much for joining me here today. I greatly appreciate it. It's been a while since I posted any videos, but I wanted to get you up to speed on some things. I have a book out called The Cat Who Couldn't Care Less. It's doing incredibly well. I'm doing a lot of sales over at local markets. It's been very fun selling it. It's a pretty big seller, I gotta say, and I kind of thought it would be because cats, you can't go wrong with them. Lots of kids, lots of people that do not have kids but do own cats are pretty interested in the book. So it's always fun to find new readers and to show that picture books aren't always just for the little ones. One thing I wanted to get into today is the topic of getting those books that you work so hard on into bookstores. Very tough. Okay, like I understand that. And the whole dynamic behind it is pretty much fueled by one distribution company. If you were to do a quick search on local bookstores that are independent, you would pretty much come across what look like clones of each other. You can read into that what you will, but they all look like they're owned by the same person. Odd. Yeah, I think it's very strange. There's a very massive lack of diversity in the independent bookstore field. I wish it weren't true, but it is. Making contact with them is easy enough. You can actually get in touch with them pretty quickly. You do have these hoops you have to jump through, which are quite frustrating. One is they tend to have these forms to fill out where you got to list your book, here's your picture, here's the QR code, here's all this, and these are locals. These are people I could walk to. And I talk to them and I tell them this. I'm like, listen, there's a great coffee shop up the street. You know it because I've seen you there. Why don't we just meet there? You can go through my books. If you dig them, cool. If not, no worries. It's not a big problem. Like, you don't have to accept everything that I publish. That does not happen. For better or for worse, it's odd, but you can't actually have a sit-down meeting with people that have these bookstores. They claim that they're busy. I know one for a fact is not busy, and that may be the problem. And that's fine. I get it. Times are tough. But don't say you're slammed and you're busy and it's hectic and all this stuff when clearly I drive by there and it is like tumbleweeds inside. One approach that I had, which I thought was very beneficial to everybody, is taking into account the lack of shelf space, which I get. I mean, go to a Barnes & Noble, look at those books and think about how much square footage a Barnes & Noble has. It's pretty monstrous. So when you pare that down to something that is tiny in a mom and pop bookstore, you got to have sellers. Like, everything you do has to sell. I get it. So one of the things that I had come up with was to do a little pop-up store. Seemed like easy enough. You can just have a little table out front. Whatever I sell, I kick a percentage to that bookstore. Maybe 10 to 15 to 20% depending on how good the day is. Crickets on that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get back to you on that. We'll think about why. You don't have to do anything. I'm not going to have to rearrange anything on your bookshelf. And that's the number one problem, right? You got the space that's very limited. It's a hassle to rearrange things. Maybe you don't want to try my books out. That's fine. This is free money. I will sell. Trust me. Every outdoor market that I have done, I sell a lot of my books, okay? This is a highly populated part of the city in Northern Virginia. We can sell books, not a problem. You get free money. What's the issue? So that's one approach, and I thought that was pretty good. Second approach I have, which I'm going to be implementing sooner than later, is to do my own little pop-up market. There's a huge parking lot next to a building I used to live in that does nothing. Like, there's nothing going on in this parking lot on the weekends. Why not just put up a bunch of tents, have vendors there? Again, whoever owns that lot will get a percentage of the sales, or perhaps just a flat fee for everybody that shows up. It's, again, free money. Haven't heard back from them. I left a lot of voicemails. Whatever, that's fine. Then there's another idea. It's like a vintage thrift store. They also have a fabric store in the back. And it's a small cul-de-sac. It's really hard to explain. It's an awkwardly placed couple of stores, but Those two, I believe, are going to have a small little outdoor market in August. I'm definitely going to be a part of it. It's going to be great. So things like that move along. But in terms of getting your book into a bookstore, which is, I guess, the name of this whole video, very tough, okay? And it's storefronts that don't have the space is one massive issue. Like I said, I did come up with what I thought was a pretty good solution around that. The pop-up market, the pop-up store. Waiting to hear back if this is going to fly. But the main issue, and I think everybody that's out there that has tried this keeps coming across the same barrier of entry. And to be perfectly honest, we all know what that is. It's the distributor that just seems to have a 100% lock on selling books. If you have a good name, it's awesome. You can do that. But if you're just starting out, then you have got a massive amount of odds against you. Because when you do not have a tremendous amount being sold and people don't know who you are, and the books aren't moving for whatever reason, maybe the store that is accepted it isn't really digging it, they don't want to promote it, whatever, your sales aren't there and they want to get your books out, you have to pay for the shipping to get the books out, and most likely the destruction of it, and then the fees, all these things. And you can get hit with a massive bill because somebody just didn't feel like promoting your book. And that's unfair. So what I do, and what I've been doing, is trying to tell people I distribute my own books. I'm a company, but I'm also a distributor. If you don't like it, if you don't sell, I will pull those books within hours because they're all local. I'm hitting all the local people. So like in 2 hours, if you want my books gone, I will pick them up or have somebody pick them up. This does not have to be that complicated, and yet people are like, I don't know, I'd rather go through this one monopoly, have you charged through the nose to destroy your books, as opposed to you just picking them up. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And to be honest, I'm not much of a conspiracy person, but it's pretty clear that there's a lot of fear. So if you have one company that distributes all of the books in the world, and you decide to go with another distributor, then they could pull all the books in the world from your store. So I get it. It's a big intimidation factor, and nobody wants to really do that. I get it. So anyway, point is, I am still plugging away. I'm still doing it. I'm still trying to get things into little pop-up markets. I'm doing this 100% independently. I don't care what the big guys do. I don't care what anybody else is doing or what they think. I'm not going away. Sorry. This is it. You're either going to deal with me. If you want my books, people are going to start asking for them. At the last outdoor market, I had several people flip through some of the books that I sell, and they're like, oh, I already bought this. And they actually did buy them. I can tell you that because they knew what happened in the books before they got to the end. So that's good, you know. I mean, my books are getting out there. That's what the point is. But again, like I said, not only am I a writer, this is a company. This is a business. And whenever I come across a roadblock, it just drives me nuts. The more you ignore me, the closer I get, okay? Any Morrissey fans out there? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I know it was a little bit of a rant, but I just had to set things straight, let people know what's up. I'm still writing. I'm working on various different things. I'm actually working on another activity book. It's the first activity book actually, but it's another book on our title and our catalog. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really fun. Mark and the Magical Camera of Awesomeness Part 2 is still being in the illustration phase. It's a lot of things that have popped up. I'm just getting sort of sidetracked, but I'm getting sidetracked with creative things. So it's not 100%. This dude's just not doing it. I got a couple other ideas that I want to write. And that's kind of the thing. Writing is a lot easier for me. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate that. Please subscribe, do all that stuff, and be like water, my friend.